A 23-game win streak. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow examines weather's role in tonight's matchup.
Well, we got a huge college matchup tonight in the ACC. The #2 Florida State Seminoles, well, they are heading all the way into Louisville, Kentucky to take on the Cardinals here, and weather will be a factor in tonight's game. Look at the forecast here. Temperatures start in the middle 50s, and they fall off, perhaps even to the upper 40s as we head throughout game time. So it had us thinking, how does each team perform in the colder weather? Coldest game of the year so far tonight. We'd look back to Florida State. Their coldest game so far this year, I wouldn't call this cold, 72 degrees when they took on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And take a look at the performance of last year's Heisman winner Winston in the game. 2 touchdowns. He had 1 interception, but threw for nearly 300 yards. And they still barely won by just 4 points. And that was thanks to the referees at the end of the fourth quarter. Now, okay, what about Louisville? You know, they have a very staunch defense. So far this year, they rank #3 in total defense. So, yeah, they only allow 13 points a game on average. But then we said, okay, let's take a look at their cold weather performance. We plucked out the games where the temperature has been 58 degrees or below, while their scoring defense only gives up 3 more points. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a pretty tough defense. So again, how does that play into tonight's matchup? Well, first of all, Florida State, they live in a warmer climate. They have not nearly dealt with temperatures as cold as they will be tonight. Louisville, that's their hometown. That's their home weather, average for this time of the year. The Vegas odds makers are giving them the underdog. So I'd say take Louisville and that 4 points, and I think we have a major upset and more shaking up in the college football rankings. Back to you.
Now, that's what Paul Goodlow has to say.
We got a rebuttal from one of our Florida State alums, Michael Lowry.
A contrarian opinion.
Not in my house. I don't buy the reasoning there. I mean, how many years have we played Boston College up there in New England and won?
Right.
Where it's cold.
Where it's cold, yes.
Well, and you can make the argument if all these people were Florida residents, but a lot of these players have come from other spots, correct?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't buy it.
Michael cannot wrap his brain around
I'm sorry,
Paul Goodlow.
I'm speechless.
Don't worry, we've actually already put out an order of protection on Paul Goodlow. He's not allowed to get near you for
I just can't wait to come in
safety.
tomorrow. Oh, they cut me off.
No, we can still hear you.
Cut me off. That's okay. I can't wait to come in and brag tomorrow when we do win.
That's right. You can just let him have it.
And that's our ESPN demo tape.
There we go.
Right there. Now, a 13-mile lava flow. It's a March football. Okay, more football. That's right. We're sticking with the ESPN thing. And here we are.
We're doing really bad at this demo tape, aren't we? Boston College Eagles, Virginia Tech Hokies. This one in Blacksburg. And, you know, it's going to be cold and it's going to be rainy. Cold rain is the worst. Morgantown,
Same story in
West
Morgantown.
Virginia. Some big happenings going on in Morgantown. TCU in town as well. So this one's going to be exciting.
We can clean this video up in
we'll
the
edit
edit.
it.
Yeah. Now, 13-mile lava. Can I say this?
Yes.
A 13-mile lava. Oh, we don't have time?
60
We've
seconds.
Got the local on the 8th is next? Okay.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and some clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, clear, low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Will the weather bring a trick or treat? We'll show you if wicked weather's on the way for this Halloween, and let me give you a clue. It is big time.
You catching bats? I like that. I like that. Plus, we're going to tell you what that means for your children and their Halloween costume. Here's the main reason why we are talking about an Arctic blast that's going to make it feel like winter for half the country. How low those temperatures will go, we'll tell you. And we'll also mention who could see the first flakes of the season. That's scary. And from ice to fire, a river of lava is still inching slowly towards homes in Hawaii. We bring you views unlike you've seen before, as people there are dealing with the disaster in slow motion.
From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dave Schwartz.
And I'm Alex Wilson. You can feel the excitement in the air for many children because tomorrow is the sweetest day of the year. See what I did there?
What did you do?
Sweet.
Oh, you mean with the candy and everything. I got it, yeah. Well, but what may not be so sweet is how many layers you'll have to throw on under the costume. Who wants to do that?
Well, yeah, you know, that is always a problem. The little ones, when they've got the princess dress, Mom, I don't want to cover it up with a jacket.
An overcoat.
So that's why we're trying to warn parents now so maybe they can build the layers in, make them fashion forward. Take a look at all the freeze warnings and freeze watches
this
in
is
play.
expanding this afternoon.
It is. It's growing. And look at this. We have now been upgraded to a winter storm warning for parts of western North Carolina, the Smokies throughout Tennessee, and even up into southwest Virginia.
And one of our experts, Dr. Greg Postel, is like a kid in a candy store.
He loves
when
it.
it comes to talking about the first snow of the season.
Trick or
He's in
treat,
the lab.
Dr. Postel.
Why not, guys? Let's have a look at the snowfall forecast we have for parts of the southern Appalachians. Most of the snow is going to be coming Friday night and Saturday morning, and generally above about 1,000 feet, but still some places in the mountains of Tennessee, maybe 5 to 8 inches of snow. How about that to really start off your November? Now we can track this beast of a cold air mass on the satellite pictures. It really originated now a little bit farther south. It's swirling around right there, not too far south of Hudson Bay. And you know where it's going. It's going to continue to take that A train right down there, guys, and bring some very cold air very far south. Now let's track it on the upper level weather charts, because there it goes, whoosh, way down to the south, dropping maybe some snow showers along the way, and I'll get back to that in a second, just south of Lake Michigan. But I want to bring our attention now to Saturday morning off the coast of the Carolinas and southeast Georgia, because when these very cold upper level circulations move south over a frontal zone and the relatively warm water that's already going to be there, we oftentimes see pretty significant coastal development, and we're going to see that this time around as well. Watch what happens as we go from Saturday through Sunday. Low pressure will be forming and strengthening, and again, a lot of this snow here at the higher elevations of the Appalachians. But I do want to point out, this is pretty cool. Right in there, guys, there's a chance for some rain mixing in with snow, I think, in parts of South Carolina. That's pretty early and pretty unusual, with high temperatures likely barely above 40 degrees in southern South Carolina. So very cold air, but look, though, as this thing moves up the coast, most of this action right in here, this is going to be rain. Really, any snow is going to be relegated, we think, to the higher elevations of New England. It's going to be very windy and cold. We know that. That's a big story. But let me go back to that lake effect thing that I was just mentioning before. I'm going to go back to Friday during the morning hours. Watch what happens downwind of Lake Michigan, right in there. You're going to have a north wind basically paralleling the lake. And what that do is it's going to pick up some moisture. And with the cold air aloft, we're going to set up for a band of lake effect snow potentially across parts of northeastern Illinois and west central Indiana. Stay tuned for that. Alex, back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Postel. Well, for some of you, trick-or-treating might actually be pushed up or back a day because we've got other events going on, you know, high school football in some of those small towns, so they have altered it. But we've got you covered. Don't worry. We've got the forecast for all 3 days. We'll start with tonight with rain showers, especially up into the Pacific Northwest. Pretty quiet, though, through much of the country. Little snow into northern sections of Minnesota. Around the northern Great Lakes, a few rain showers as well. And we'll also be watching for the chance of a few showers into North Florida. But tomorrow, things turn a little more active across parts of the Midwest. We've got the rain-snow mix, wind and cold for Bismarck and Chicago. Those temperatures in the 30s along with the gusty winds. It's going to be really uncomfortable for the little ones. Rain showers across the West Coast. Now, on Saturday evening, if that's your trick-or-treat night, you've got the rain and snow mix and the snow out into parts of the east. Middle of the country, okay, but then when you get out west, more action in terms of rain. Dave, mix of rain and snow, even some high elevation snow.
Nice to see some rain in California, Alex. Thanks a lot. Well, tornadoes, lightning, the Arctic blast that we've been talking about, all powerful displays of Mother Nature. But as meteorologist Paul Goodloe explains, the scariest weather isn't necessarily the deadliest weather.
Mother Nature can certainly put on a show. But it's what happens behind the scenes when the cameras aren't rolling that can prove to be the most dangerous.
I think when most people think about hurricanes, they think about what they can sense, what they can feel on a regular basis, which is wind and rain. But really, it's the flooding. It's the water that kills in hurricanes. 90% of fatalities in hurricanes are from drowning. Only 10% are from the wind. Because with wind, at least you can go into your interior room, seek shelter from the wind. But with water, really, there's no place in your home to hide.
Tornadoes are another visual display of nature's power and undeniably deadly.
But I hope no one's hurt.
But they're not the summertime killer.
We need to be concerned, of course, with the threat from tornadoes, severe thunderstorms, lightning, floods. But even more people are killed on average by heat waves.
In fact, the National Weather Service says heat is the #1 weather killer in America over the last 10 years.
People at most risk from heat waves are the elderly and the very young, those that are sick. The elderly in particular, if they're in homes that are not air conditioned, they become very vulnerable.
So where are you the most vulnerable? Well, the numbers are overwhelming. The most dangerous scenario happens when weather and human error mix.
Snowstorms get a lot of attention for the wind and the snow that comes down, but there's a secondary danger to that, and that has to do with travel. There are thousands of accidents that occur each year due to snowstorms, those wet and slippery roads, the low visibilities when snow is coming down as well.
On average, more than 6,000 people die in weather-related crashes each year. That's 10 times more than direct weather impacts. Bottom line, buckle up and slow down. For the Weather Channel, I'm Paul Goodloe.
Well, slow and steady. But just how far can this lava move in one night? Well, up next, new video that shows just how much ground it can cover.
Plus, on a wire and wearing a blindfold, then add in some strong winds.
So I'm the one living with type 2 diabetes, and I've listened to the tips, the trends, and have you tried this? Now, I'm ready for someone to listen to me.
Welcome to FitToMe.com, your free custom-fit diabetes support program that actually listens to you. Start building your Fit to Me program today using key areas of diabetes management. Let's start with food. Mexican? Asian?
Italian.
Want recipes that reduce calories or carbs? Which activity feels more like you? Cardio or couch girls? Choose a digital coach, tough love, or a gentle nudge. You can even get a toolkit with treatment options to discuss with your doctor. Fit to Me also inspires you through games and team challenges.
So what kind of plan will I stick with? My plan.
Get your plan. Go to FitToMe.com and enter code CAN to get started.
There is a powerful force of nature at work.
2 nights of weather.
What was that?
You shouldn't watch alone.
It's not somewhere you want to be when the sun goes down.
Wicked in the Weather, a 3-night marathon, continues tonight at 8. And when you wake, get your Halloween trick-or-treat forecast tomorrow on the Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and some clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, clear, low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Next Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally next Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
I have an all-wheel drive vehicle. Do I really need winter tires?
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
Even if you drive an all-wheel drive vehicle, installing winter tires will improve surface grip in most winter conditions.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Up to 6 times longer than the other leading brand.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
The attitude among the community is one of acceptance. They understand they live on an island with an active volcano, and sometimes to live in paradise, this is the price you pay.
If we're going to be an island on an island.
It's all good. She's doing what she got to do. That's her way, that's her nature. Who can stop her?
The people that are meant to stay will stay, and the people that have to leave, sadly, will leave.
After 13 miles, it has all come down to a few hundred yards. The lava flow from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is on the brink of changing a way of life for people in the town of Pahoa. And that flow is moving between 15 to 30 feet per hour. In real time, this is what it looks like, really just creeping along. And you can see that lava black with that glowing red center. It's just inching across the grass, that leading line. You can see some of those flames, and then, of course, the aftermath. Now, it's tough to get an idea of how much ground that covers when you're looking at it in real time, because it looks like it's barely moving. So let's give you an idea of what it looks like with a time-lapse video. And this time-lapse video was taken during an overnight. So it was recorded a few days ago, and it gives you a little better idea of just how much ground that flow does cover over the span of several hours. You can see that lava flow moving towards this power pole. The pole actually has a special base that's designed to protect it from the heat. You can also see that mound, because that flow is going to follow the contour of the land. It wants the path of least resistance, so it's going to go through some of those lower lying areas. And, you know, Dave, that's something the people there have been saying. You know, we understand that's what we get when we live here, and you want to just let it play out as nature intended.
That's kind of a pretty cool, laid-back way to handle it, but I guess you know what you're in for when you live or move to Hawaii. Well, another way to show exactly what the people of Pahoa are dealing with is through the air. NBC's Hallie Jackson shows us the source of the flow, its path of destruction, and where it's heading next.
We are at the tip of the sphere. This is the leading edge of the Pahoa lava flow. Here in town, about 40 to 50 homes are within potentially the direct path of this lava.
It's gonna be a little smoky in here.
This home looks to be one of the lucky ones. The flow passed within just a few hundred yards of the house here. It doesn't look like this lava is moving at all, but it is. It's going anywhere from 5 yards an hour to 20 yards an hour. This is so slow moving that the lava on top is hardening and blackening. There's still red hot lava underneath.
We're crossing Napa Road.
Right now, it feels like we're in a furnace. We're close to the lava, and you can see some of the breakouts. And I'll tell you, you can feel it. You can barely breathe. It's smoky and it's thick. This is what is feeding that lava flow that's heading right over the town of Pahoa. It's basically a bathtub full of lava. It's crusted over on top, and it acts as insulation, keeping that lava underneath incredibly hot.
You're looking actually into a lava tube.
That crust is like ice on a lake. Underneath are these tubes. That's what's funneling the lava right towards civilization. It's been about 17 weeks, and this thing has traveled 12 miles. It shows no sign of stopping just yet. It's Nature at its most powerful, breathtakingly beautiful, dangerous, and devastating.
Well, there are no mandatory evacuations on Pahoa yet, but several homeowners have already packed up and left. 80 members of the National Guard will be patrolling the area to make sure people keep their distance. Alex, back to you.
Thanks, Dave. Cars, motorcycles, skateboards, it doesn't matter what they ride. Daredevils gravitate towards the Grand Canyon. And that includes tightrope specialist Nick Walenda, but he is trying a new stunt, one that takes him to Chicago. I'll tell you why our Jim Cantori says this could be the most dangerous one yet.
For most people, earning cash back ends here at the purchase. But there's a new card in town. Introducing the Citi Double Cash Card. It lets you earn cash back when you buy and again as you pay. That's cash back twice. It's cash back with a side of cash back. The Citi Double Cash Card. The only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase. With 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
It was the best day. It was the best day. It was the best day. It was the best day because of you.
We make a great pair.
Huh?
Progressive and the great outdoors. We make a great pair.
Right, totally. That's what I was thinking.
Covering the things that make the outdoors great. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
I can do anything.
The bed reacts to your body. It hugs you. I don't have to think about how to get comfortable anymore.
The zip's off so I can wash it. Yes, please.
Dude, Tempur-Pedic is killing it. No more tossing and turning, trying to find a comfortable spot in bed.
It's really cool to the touch. My Tempur-Pedic cuddles better than my husband does. But that's just between you and me.
Visit your local retailer and feel the Tempur-Pedic difference for yourself.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice, faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
Next Thursday, a Weather Channel first, the Winter Weather Prep Rally, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Best advice, try not to travel.
In the morning,
you've got our winter weather outlook.
And at night.
PCmatic won first place in the Virus Bulletin Rap Test, the most prestigious security competition in the world. PCmatic from the United States outperformed all its foreign competition. This victory is independent, third-party validation that PCmatic is the best at blocking viruses and keeping your computer safe from modern threats like CryptoLocker. At $50 for 5 computers for 1 year, PCmatic is a great value, but PCmatic is much more. PCmatic makes your computers faster and more reliable even after years of use. PCmatic supports Windows XP, keeping it secure and running as good as the day you bought it. PCmatic has a full, no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee. And PCmatic is supported by Americans whose first language is English. To get top-rated, world-class security that also keeps your computers running great, go to PCmatic.com. That's PCmatic.com.
Now, at 1-866-680-4971.
2 more nights of weather. You shouldn't watch alone.
What was that?
Our Halloween marathon, Wicked in the Weather, continues tonight at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
For staying with us. It's 20 past. That means it's time to talk some tropics here, and it is still hurricane season. Just a month left, though, so hopefully we get through the next few weeks without any big storms. We do, though, have a new tropical depression I need to talk about. This is Tropical Depression 21. It formed earlier today in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Now, this is the Pacific side of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico and the U.S. is up there on the upper right part of your screen. But what we're looking at here is a developing system, and it looks like we'll see now in about half an hour the Hurricane Center is going to put out their next advisory, and very likely we will see Tropical Storm Vance. The satellite estimates, the intensity estimates showing that it's getting very, very close, if not already there. Here's what it looks like on the visible picture. The turning here to those clouds in the center is right in here, right in the middle. It's still organizing. It's still got a ways to go in terms of getting to hurricane strength. We can peek through those high clouds that often obscure what's happening near the ocean surface by looking at our microwave satellite, almost like an MRI through the storm. And what we're finding is the upper circulations here, the lower circulations here, they're not exactly vertically stacked at this point. Now, once they do, the forecast calls for this to strengthen and move off toward the west, at least to begin with. That's good because it's moving away from land. But come late weekend, when it is forecast to be a hurricane, it may begin to bend back to the right, Dave and Alex, and then midweek, the forecast calls for it to threaten parts of Mexico, even Cabo San Lucas, that was really hit hard by Odile in September. They could be under the gun come next week. Back to you.
Let's pray that doesn't happen. Now they're still recovering.
Right.
Well, Nick Wallenda already made history walking on a wire across the Grand Canyon. And our own Jim Cantori was there watching the weather for Nick during each terrifying step.
What I'd like to see his nails before and after, because I can imagine that you'd be gnawing on those. Well, we asked Jim to look back on that day, and we also asked him to look ahead to Sunday's walk across skyscrapers for Nick Wallenda in Chicago. Take a look.
When Discovery asked me to do the forecast and watch the weather for the Wallenda walk across the canyon, I thought, wow, this is incredible. I'm looking at this guy walking over a wire in the middle of the Grand Canyon. It's like, how are you going to focus on your job? So it was challenging. My role was to monitor the weather, let him know what kind of wind gusts we were getting at the bottom of the canyon, on the middle of the wire, on the edges of the wire. So he essentially would have a grid of what he's dealing with. Now the problem is you get gusty winds, you get thermals that come out of nowhere. You can't see the wind. It just pops up, and those winds gusted about 40 miles per hour, and that caught him off guard.
Lord, help this cable to calm down. Command it in your name, Jesus, with the authority of God. Praise you. Praise you, Jesus.
Unfortunately, I can't just scream out to him and say, hey, Nick, it just gusted to 45. No, he's locked in, he's focused. It was just incredible. I mean, I don't think I breathed for about a half hour after we started. Chicago's going to be completely different than the Grand Canyon. The weather is much more unpredictable. Okay, you've got not a hot, dry day with wind that you can't see. First of all, we're at night. He's going to blindfold himself for part of the walk. So if you take the weather elements that you can have in Chicago in November, you can have anything. You can have thunder, lightning, rain, fog, wind, tons of wind. And it could snow. It's not impossible. It would be rare, but it could snow. What we're going to do weather-wise with this one, we're going to have a weather station on each building. In other words, where his lead wire going across the first walk, and then we'll have a weather station over there, plus the second building as well. So we'll know what's going on at each end of the wires. We will have another anemometer down below, as well as a thermometer, so we'll be able to tell the temperature and the wind and the direction. So we'll know what the wind is doing at all these different key points. What I won't know, though, is what's going on in between those buildings. And that's the thing about Chicago. You know, you're going to get different winds at different angles, different eddies that develop around those buildings. That'll be entrained in his walk. In other words, he could start on one end and the wind could be one direction. On the other end, it could be at another direction. And it could be even faster. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what Mother Nature's going to throw at him. This guy wants to get from point A to point B.
And you can watch Nick Wallenda walk between the Leo Burnett Building and the Marina Towers in Chicago on Sunday. Jim Cantori will be there to advise Nick on the weather conditions. You can see it live at 7 o'clock Eastern on Discovery.
Well, it's almost time to hit the town for tricks and treats. And we've got your forecast covered from coast to coast.
Coming up, where rain, wind, and cold weather could force some communities to change plans. And don't forget, tomorrow's the big day.
Our colleagues at NBC Today, including our beloved Al Roker, will reveal their 2014 costumes live on the air.
Maybe you didn't know, people with the flu can spread it up to 6 feet away. Or that flu can make chronic conditions worse. Maybe you didn't know any of the stuff your Rite Aid pharmacist knows. But now that you've gotten your flu shot at Rite Aid, maybe you don't need to.
There's confidence. Then there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. It's no wonder last year we sold over 3 million tires. And during the big tire event, get up to $140 in mail-in rebates on 4 select tires.
I'm at St. Jude because I had a cancer inside of me. They diagnosed me with a brain tumor. You have to be strong and don't give up. Attitude is everything. You have to fight.
Imagine your doctor tells you your child has cancer with only months to live. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you turn to? Fortunately, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is fighting every day to save children's lives. And with a gift of just $19 a month, you can join the fight.
This is my kid that they're giving back to me. I am so grateful.
At St. Jude, no family ever receives a bill. In fact, no family pays St. Jude for anything. That's why your gift of $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, is so important.
When I thought that I might lose my son, they gave me hope.
You are not only saving a child's life, you're breathing life back into that family.
If I hadn't come here, I wouldn't have my son.
St. Jude's life-saving research and treatment is shared freely with hospitals around the world.
St. Jude gives you hope and happiness. They're helping us live. Maybe in the future, kids won't have to go through this. We'll find a cure and it'll all be over.
Please, call and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope right now.
There is a powerful force in nature at work.
2 more nights of weather.
What was that?
You shouldn't watch alone.
It's not somewhere you want to be when the sun goes down.
Wicked in the Weather, a 3-night marathon, continues tonight at 8. And when you wake, get your Halloween trick-or-treat forecast tomorrow on the Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Take a look at this amazing video into us from Hawaii. Now, we talked about this lava flow all week, but this is the first time you're actually seeing it in time-lapse photography, Alex.
Yeah, that lava just creeping forward. It's estimated to be moving about 10 yards per hour. Here's a stat. It's more than 800 degrees. People living there say it's a slow-motion horror show and a slow torture because they're powerless and can only watch as the lava flows closer and closer to their homes. Thanks so much for staying with us for Weather Center Live. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. On the other hand, it's just lava coming down from a volcano, which happens every day in Hawaii.
Right, but the people there are very, very okay with it, or at least they're very centered when it comes to, hey, this is the environment, this is Mother Nature. We knew what we were getting when we decided to move here.
Yeah, and the locals believe the gods, that's the gods acting.
Exactly.
Well, it's truly a story of fire, Hawaii, and now ice on the mainland. Now, while the Big Island is dealing with all this lava, well, we have a first real Arctic blast here in the mainland United States, just in time for Halloween.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the watches and warnings. Freeze warnings and freeze watches take up a ton of real estate from North Georgia all the way over to parts of western Kansas. And now winter storm warnings are in effect for southwest Virginia and down into parts of western North Carolina and Tennessee.
And how about a lakeshore flood watch for Chicago? Dr. Greg Postel's in the lab. He's got his eye on this, and he's fired up.
Dave and Alex, I mean, this is a pretty cold air mass, the coldest one of the season for sure, and it's going to bring some snow to parts of the south at elevation, in the elevations of above 1,000 feet, I think primarily of the Appalachians of western North Carolina and Tennessee. Look at the map. This is where we think the snow will be most likely across the region, with maybe some spots getting up to 5 to 8 inches. So, guys, that's quite a bit. And even the North Georgia mountains, maybe even seeing a little bit of dusting of snow there. So pretty big deal for the south. I mean, up north in Chicago, yeah, it's going to be cold, but the real shock is going to be farther south as this beast of a circulation moves south. It was over above the Arctic Circle yesterday, and this upper level energy kind of tracking it there and circled moves south. It's a cold pocket aloft that will deposit some snow in the higher elevations out in here as it moves through. But then there's another piece to it, and as this thing gets offshore here, this is a classic setup for development, coastal development of low pressure, as that upper level cold pocket and associated energy pocket with it moves out over a front and over the warmer waters of the ocean. We'll see low pressure spin up pretty quickly, I think, during the day on Saturday. There we go. We're going to start off for you on Saturday morning. You can see things are kind of getting organized there. We'll still see some snow, I think, in the higher elevations of western North Carolina, Tennessee, and western Virginia. But as this thing goes north, it's going to strengthen pretty quickly. But I do think mostly along the coast, this will be a rain event. There'll be some snow showers in interior New England. Of course, depending on the exact track of this, there'll be some snow there. But as I mentioned, the biggest shock will be in the south. And look at these Saturday's highs way below average and Sunday morning's lows even more below average. Dave, back to you.
All right, thank you. Well, so what does that mean for Halloween? Everybody's getting geared up, but the kids, I'll tell you what. For half the country, it means you're going to need a few extra layers, and it's basically the eastern half of the country. Check it out, 38 degrees in Chicago, cold, cloudy. Meanwhile, here in Bismarck, it'll be 38 degrees, but that's a southerly wind. Already, the milder air is going to be humming northward. So this is 7 o'clock in the evening, 38, Bismarck. That's a lot more comfortable than it's going to be tonight at 7 o'clock. We're already below 38 degrees. East Coast, okay. On Friday night, New York City, 53. Charlotte, 58. But then on Saturday, we could have some snow in Charlotte mixed with the rain. It's possible. Spokane, Washington, these are the tricks. The wet side of the country. Of course, into California, we'll take the rain. We need the rain badly. And in San Francisco, have a ball out there at Pier 31. They got a big haunted house kind of thing. Alex, back to you.
I like the sound of that. And we're actually going to stay out west because we've got a live look at San Francisco. Clouds building in, but that's not spoiling their spirit. Nope. They are world champs. The San Francisco Giants won the World Series last night, so they're going to be celebrating all the way through the weekend. Maybe because of the victory, but maybe also because some of that much-needed rain that Dave mentioned is on the way. And let's talk about this West Coast storm that is going to bring some of those drought-stricken areas some needed moisture. It's out in the west. There's where we've got it right now. You can see some of those heavier showers into western Washington. Much of the wet weather focused over western Washington. We've seen a little bit into parts of Oregon. Upper level low spinning, and you can see that moisture. That's those pink colors just funneling right into parts of the northwestern U.S. So this is the setup that we keep going as we head into the start of the weekend. Eventually that storm system moves a little further towards the east, so coastal spots get a break from the rain, whereas it will be more interior spots of the west, seeing it on Saturday. But tomorrow it is right along the coast from Seattle down to the south of San Francisco. By tomorrow night, look, Los Angeles, San Diego, Bakersfield even get in on some of those showers. By Saturday, it's interior sections of the west, Idaho, Nevada, also parts of Utah where we've got the best chance of rain, snow, or a mix of rain and snow showers. Rainfall through Saturday, 1 to 2 inches where you see the deeper greens, up to an inch in that lighter green area. So some much needed, some much welcomed rain to parts of California. Then we have snow for the Sierra Nevada mountains. You can see 5 to 8 inches in that light purple, but just off towards the south of Yosemite National Park could see up to a foot of snow. Actually, a foot of snow around there, higher off to the south. Dave.
That is like manna from heaven, you know? Rain or snow in the mountains, which is potential water. That melts next summer. We got water in San Francisco and Sacramento. Well, when the season's first snowstorm comes, chances are it won't look like this. That's a blizzard. I mean, that is the poor visibility, the wind. Believe it or not, though, blizzard is one of the most commonly misused weather terms. Meteorologist Mark Elliott breaks down the entire list and hopefully saves you from a very embarrassing moment, my friend.
Weather is a popular topic of conversation between strangers, friends, and, well, party guests of all kinds. But if you're going to talk about the weather, we're here to help you talk about it correctly, as these are 7 of the most commonly misused weather terms. And we're going to start things off with a blizzard, because people think that every time it snows heavily that they are in a blizzard, but that's not actually the case. See, the National Weather Service has specific criteria that have to be met for it to be called a blizzard. There have to be wind gusts above 35 miles per hour. The visibility has to go down to a quarter mile or less, and all of this has to happen for 3 hours straight. Then it's officially a blizzard. How about landfall? Going into the tropics, not every storm that affects land has a landfall. There can be impacts for land areas without landfall ever occurring. You actually need the exact center of the storm to cross land for a landfall to be officially declared. A derecho is a strong line of storms, but not every strong line of storms is a derecho. This particular event has to go on for 240 miles. Along that path, winds have to be steadily at 58 miles per hour or above, and along that line, spread out along the way, there have to be several reports of wind gusts at 75 miles per hour or greater. Derechos are big-time events, and not every big wind is a derecho. How about the monsoon? You may think that every time it rains really hard, you're in a monsoon, but a monsoon is actually a season. It's a wind shift. It has nothing to do with the actual rain. That shift in the wind brings the monsoon in.
Mark will cover the other 3 most misused weather terms after the break. Now, a cold and windy weekend's on the way for New York City.
And that is not what some runners want to hear. We'll tell you how the weather could impact this year's New York City Marathon.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
Your heart is precious. One of many ways to support its health is new True Heart from One A Day. It's the only heart health supplement with ingredients to both help lower bad cholesterol and support healthy blood pressure, and also includes CoQ10. Try new True Heart.
How do you become the best at what you do? You focus, you work hard, you believe in reaching your dreams. That's how America's always done it. And that's how AAG has become America's leading reverse mortgage lender. It's all we do. And we're working to help the next generation of retirees enjoy the life they've worked so hard for. Find out how a reverse mortgage with AAG can fund your retirement.
Call 1-800-791-2075 now for your free information kit, including a complete reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a helpful family guide for your children and loved ones. Call 1-800-791-2075 to get your free info kit today.
A reverse mortgage is the way to turn your home's equity into cash you can use to eliminate your existing mortgage, pay some bills, or simply fund a longer, safer retirement for you and your family.
Call 1-800-791-2075 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones. You've worked hard. You've made plans. Now it's time to talk to the people who will work hard for you to help make those plans come true.
Call 1-800-791-2075 now for your free no-obligation guide.
Discover the new reverse mortgage for a better retirement. And find out why more people trust AAG than any other reverse mortgage lender.
Call 1-800-791-2075 today. 1-800-791-2075.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Call 1-800-791-2075.
Just like an interception. I bet you didn't see this one coming.
Up your game with the new Fritos Chili Pizza. A large for $12. Add a mega chocolate chip cookie for just $5 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better football. Papa John's.
I've had it with my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. The frustration, covering up. So I talked with my doctor. He prescribed Enbrel. Enbrel is clinically proven to provide clearer skin. Many people saw 75% clearance in 3 months, and Enbrel helped keep skin clearer at 6 months.
Enbrel may lower your ability to fight infections. Serious, sometimes fatal events including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, nervous system and blood disorders, and allergic reactions have occurred. Before starting Enbrel, your doctor should test you for tuberculosis and discuss whether you've been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. You should not start Enbrel if you have an infection like the flu. Tell your doctor if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sores, have had hepatitis B, have been treated for heart failure, or if you have symptoms such as persistent fever, bruising, bleeding, or paleness.
Finally, clearer skin for more than a few days, weeks, or months. Enbrel works for me. Ask your dermatologist if you can have clearer skin with Enbrel.
It's 17 before the hour. Alex and Dave here with you. Pleasure. Well, we already showed you the first 4 on the list, but there are 3 more major mistakes people make when talking about the weather, including the word tornado.
Meteorologist Mark Elliott, though, is here to help.
One of my personal favorites, heat lightning. Heat lightning doesn't actually exist. You can just take that out of your vocabulary altogether. Yeah, heat lightning not caused by heat. The lightning doesn't cause the temperature to rise. It's just a regular old thunderstorm with regular old lightning that's too far away from you to actually hear the thunder. You just see the flash across the sky. The polar vortex, one of the famous ones here at the Weather Channel. People love this one. Not every cold air outbreak is the polar vortex. In fact, the polar vortex hangs out in the poles and very infrequently moves from there. Plus, it's talking about the upper levels of the atmosphere, not really the day-to-day temperatures that you'd be seeing where you live. And believe it or not, the term tornado has to be on the list because it's misused more often than you may believe. We often hear, oh, we were watching the water spout move on shore and become a tornado. But actually, a water spout already is a tornado. Another common misuse is saying, oh, we were watching the tornado move across the sky and then it touched the ground. But that is incorrect as well. You can't use the term tornado until there's contact with ground. So next time you're talking about the weather, you're going to use all these terms correctly and be the weather star of that dinner party.
Heck yeah, you are.
You know, we've heard some of those mistakes uttered by people here on the Weather Channel. Not me, of course. I mean, you know, but I'm saying some people.
I mean, all those gold star stickers for you. Good job.
Thank you,
You're the
baby.
weather star of the party. Hey, incredible images pour into us here of the lava flow in Hawaii.
Top 5
Let's
videos.
get into the top 5 videos. Lava. How amazing is this? I mean, it looks like the consistency of like hot fudge because it just looks so thick and sludgy and it's moving so
But that would burn your tongue so bad.
Yeah.
Number 4, an aerial view of the Pahoa lava flow, one of the lobes that's just spreading out.
Yeah, this gives you a good idea because, you know, we see these ground level images and I don't think we realize just how much ground is being eaten up by this lava flow.
And, you know, if it weren't for volcanoes, there would be no Hawaiian Islands.
Right.
So this is life, you know, in a sense, and it's also killing as it goes.
Right.
So what a paradox, huh?
Yeah, and I think some of the residents there are saying, hey, we understand that, and so they're looking at it as this is the way Mother Nature intends it.
Yeah.
Number 2, another look at that smoking leading edge of that lava. And as you mentioned, it almost seems like that grass burns a little bit out ahead of the lava.
Yeah, from the heat. And of course, the black is the cooled down part. It's like glass, and that insulates what's underneath it, so it keeps it hot as it's flowing across the ground. And this is something interesting.
This is video showing the Puna lava flow flowing around a power pole. Now that was built with a protective mechanism. You've got that mound and then you've got the concrete around it to actually protect that power pole as that lava is going to follow the path of least resistance.
What a weird life it must be to know that that's going to be part of it, you know? Well, you can upload your videos anytime at weather.com/photos. Maybe it's similar to, like, you know, living with earthquakes in California. It's just part of the landscape.
Exactly. Or folks who are familiar with hurricanes along the coast.
Now in New York, we have to live with, the traffic, my gosh.
The traffic, the cars honking, and on Sunday, a lot of runners.
You got that right, the New York City Marathon. Here's the forecast for the weekend in the Big Apple. Saturday, morning showers, and then it looks like we're good. Just windy. That'll be the big story for the race.
Mix of sun and clouds, but we're going to have to find out the path or what way most of those runners will be going because you want to know if you're up against the wind or if it's helping you out. Fingers crossed for help. Well, hey, the number 2 ranked team in the nation is facing an unranked opponent tonight.
It'll be a blowout, right? Well, maybe not. Up next, how weather could help level the playing field.
Time now for your trick or treat forecast. And if you're in Hollywood, you got to watch out for these guys. You might get scared out of your wits at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Let's get a look at your forecast for that one because I got to get these scary people off the screen. Partly to mostly cloudy during the daylight hours. Post-sunset, that's when we could see a few showers, eventually transitioning to more of a steady rain by midnight.
You know, those are the producers in the back there. Those are what our producers look like.
Oh, yeah.
When
You know
they're
what
all
they're
lit
telling
up.
us? Local on the 8s is next.
Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going. Get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
My job is so hard on my hands.
The cracks were the worst part.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
There was a difference within just minutes of it absorbing into my skin.
Only O'Keefe's has given me the relief that I need.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
The Weather Channel's hit show Prospectors is back for a 3rd season, and we're celebrating with a Prospectors giveaway.
Oh my God!
Enter now at weather.com/prospectors for your chance to win $5,000 in precious gems, plus another $5,000 in cash. Prospectors Season 3 premieres Sunday, December 7th on the Weather Channel.
If If you miss this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Wouldn't it be nice if we focused less on the number and more on how the fit makes us feel? Start your day bursting with real berries and slip into size sassy with Special K.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill. Why do you want to get everybody Spring Valley vitamins from Walmart? Because you need him to feel healthy for your big reunion. Because you need to feel the moves, not the ears.
Dance Team Captain 94.
And because you need Grandpa to feel like he has more energy than they do. Shop the whole line of Spring Valley vitamins now. Only at Walmart.com and Walmart.
So, you're saying you'll give me my credit score for free? Right. Now you're going to ask for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low 2 weeks later. Look, Credit Karma.
Are you talking to websites again?
This website says free credit scores.
Oh, Credit Karma. Yeah, it's really free. Look, you don't even have to put in your credit card information.
What?
Make every sale when you accept credit cards with Square. There's one low rate for every card. And you see money in your bank account as fast as the next business day. Send digital receipts, get instant feedback from your customers, and sell even more with real-time sales reports. Take care of your business with Square. Get started for free at square.com.
When you told me about this Candy Crush game, at first I thought, so what? But now I can't stop playing.
That's not how it works.
I mean, it's so simple. It's like my car insurance. I saved 15% in 15 minutes.
Well, Esurance could have saved you money in half that time.
3 in a row. Sweet.
15 minutes for a quote isn't so sweet.
Level 2.
Start with a quote from Esurance and you can save money on car insurance in half the time. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
To TradeKing.com/free1000 today. TradeKing.com.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Welcome back to the lab. It's time for your tropical update, and we have the 20th named storm in the eastern Pacific Ocean. You have to go back to 1992 to find a hurricane season that was this busy out there. Take a look at Tropical Storm Vance. That's V. We're on the V storm. We're running out of letters in the alphabet. 40-mile-per-hour winds, so a borderline tropical storm. Tropical storm force winds start at 39 miles per hour, moving slowly off toward the west at 5 miles per hour. And this is the Pacific side of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico is up here in the U.S. And this one moving away from land for the time time being. I'll show you the forecast track in just a minute, but here's what it looks like on the visible picture. It's got a pretty good organization to the spin, but the thunderstorms are still struggling a little bit. There's a little bit of dry air that's kind of wrapped in to this. Also, stronger winds from the southwest at the upper part of the atmosphere, kind of blowing those cloud tops away from where the low-level spin is right here. So you have a low-level spin that's here, an upper-level spin that's just a little bit displaced, or a mid-level spin that's displaced to the northeast. So until these two come into line with one another, this one's going to just slowly strengthen, we think, here over the next few days. Here's the updated forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, and you can see that they are forecasting this to be a 75-mile-per-hour hurricane come midday Sunday. But look at this. It's going to bend back to the right, unfortunately, for our friends in Mexico, and the cone now touching the southern tip of the Baja California Peninsula. And remember, Cabo San Lucas is up here. This is a resort town, Dave and Alex, that was just leveled by Odile back in September. Hopefully, this stays to the right of them. Back to you.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Thanks, Michael. Well, Florida State University is one of the hottest teams in college football right now. But tonight, the Seminoles play in Louisville. Now, it'll be the team's coldest game so far this year.
So will the chilly air be enough to end a 23-game win streak? Meteorologist Paul Goodlow examines weather's role in tonight's matchup.
We got a huge college matchup tonight in the ACC. The #2 Florida State Seminoles, well, they are heading all the way into Louisville, Kentucky to take on the Cardinals here, and weather will be a factor in tonight's game. Look at the forecast here. Temperatures start in the middle 50s, and they fall off perhaps even to the upper 40s as we head throughout game time. So it had us thinking, how does each team perform in the colder weather? Coldest game of the year so far tonight. We'd look back to Florida State. Their coldest game so far this year, I wouldn't call this cold, 72 degrees when they took on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And take a look at the performance of last year's Heisman winner Winston in the game. 2 touchdowns. He had 1 interception, but threw for nearly 300 yards. And they still barely won by just 4 points. And that was thanks to the referees at the end of the fourth quarter. Now, okay, what about Louisville? You know, they have a very staunch defense. So far this year, they rank #3 in total defense. So, yeah, they only allow 13 points a game on average. But then we said, okay, let's take a look at their cold weather performance. We plucked out the games where the temperature has been 58 degrees or below. Well, their scoring defense only gives up 3 more points. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a pretty tough defense. So again, how does that play into tonight's matchup? Well, first of all, Florida State, they live in a warmer climate. They have not nearly dealt with temperatures as cold as they will be tonight. Louisville, that's their hometown. That's their home weather, average for this time of the year. The Vegas odds makers are giving them the underdog. So I'd say take Louisville and that 4 points, and I think we have a major upset and more shaking up in the college football rankings. Back to you.
Thank you, Paul. And nearly everyone agrees with Paul Goodlow on that one.
Yeah, gutsy call. So we've got to go for the opposite opinion to our in-house Florida
You found
State.
someone?
This guy went there and he says no.
I thought, Alex, I thought Paul and I were friends.
I agree. Again, that's a gutsy choice to make. Don't know that I would had the gumption to do that.
I feel a little bad because I've been bashing Paul a little bit, and he's not around to defend himself. In fairness, Paul has made some really good picks lately. Maybe I'm just a little bit nervous about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, always got to be nervous, but
yeah, but no, I'm confident we're going to win, Alex.
All right, and you are thinking 2 touchdowns, Florida State with a victory, so up by 14.
Yes, I'm calling for a big win. 2 touchdowns.
We're going to watch this one, and we're going to watch. Well, I'm going to watch carefully with, like pizza and wine, the way girls watch football.
Of course you will. Well, you do everything with pizza and wine.
Basically,
exactly.
Yes.
Check this out. #3 rated Auburn plays Ole Miss. And it's going to be cold. It's 71 in Oxford, Mississippi right now. It's going to be in the 40s for the game.
All right, I'm going to go get my pizza.
All right,
hey, we'll see you guys
go.
tomorrow.
Yeah, take care.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now on Weather Center Live, take a look at any of these spots right here. And these areas, and if you live near these areas, will be in for a wintry blast. Some will see snow and the flakes start to fly. And even if you don't see the winter in the air in these areas, you're certainly going to feel it all the way down to the deep south. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Kelly Cass on this eve before Halloween. As you try to finalize those plans, you might need to adjust them. This Arctic blast will bring widespread lake effect snow to parts of Michigan and Indiana, and it's also going to send very cold air plunging all the way down to South Florida even.
And that could be record breaking for spots that include Miami, also West Palm Beach, and we're going to have all that in a moment.
But first, we have a look at where you're on alert as far as the wintry weather. We're talking snow for some of you here in the high country, the Smokies of eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina. That darker shade of blue, that's a winter storm warning in effect, and the lighter shade of blue is where we have winter weather advisories, so be prepared to drive in some slippery conditions as we head into this weekend. Let's get the very latest now from our storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel, joining us from the lab. Hey, Greg.
Kelly, thank you very much. You know, you accurately put it, the high country. This is going to be a snowstorm for locations at elevation generally above 1,000 feet in the Appalachians in the south. Let's have a look at the map, and I can show you that we've got places getting 5 to 8, and there may be spots that get a little bit more than that here in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. But notice that really this kind of outlines an area of higher elevation. So, you know, below 1,000 feet, I think the odds of getting any accumulating snow are pretty low. So that's the news there with the amount of snow that we're going to get. But I want to point out that this is not just about snow. It's about cold and wind, because this is going to be the coldest air mass of the season moving in, thanks in part to where this circulation right there swirling around there in the satellite pictures. Yesterday it was north of the Arctic Circle. Now it's moved south just to the west of Hudson Bay there. And I'll tell you what, it's going that way. It's going to be on the A train to the south. So the shock is really going to be how cold it is at really southern latitudes in the southern part of the U.S. North, Minnesota, Chicago, you can handle it, right? But this is going to get pretty far south, and it's very trackable at the upper level weather charts. And you can see here it comes, and as it moves south, it is going to deposit the snow along the way into parts of the higher elevations out here. It's also going to bring some lake effect snow, I think, south of Lake Michigan on Friday, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But by the time, let me step over here, and by the time we get to 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, watch out for the possibility of coastal development here. The likelihood, in fact, of significant low pressure moving up the coast. We'll have the front and the temperature contrast in place, and with that upper energy moving in like that, classic setup for low development along the coast. This thing is going to be heading northeastward during the day on Saturday. And I would not be surprised to see some of these areas, even in the central highlands of South Carolina and North Carolina, to see some flakes of snow mixed in, but no accumulation, I don't think. But then on Saturday night and Sunday morning, as this thing rides up that way, I think we're going to see a lot of wind and a lot of cold air in the northeast. Mostly rain. There'll be some higher elevation snow, but the track is not quite right, and the air is not quite cold enough to get the snow all the way to the coast, I don't think. Certainly I-95 corridor, largely a wet event. But wind, look at some of these numbers, 40 to 50 miles per hour, certainly in gusts in eastern Massachusetts as this powerful cyclone, guys, you can actually see the center circulation right about there Saturday evening, move up the coast into the Canadian Maritimes and strengthen very quickly. And behind it on Sunday all day, we're going to have that cold northwest wind in place, so it's going to be really, really chilly. But the other factor that I mentioned earlier is the lake effect snow in Chicago. This is going to be a big enough circulation. It's going to impact a lot of people. And on Friday, you can see that we have the flow really paralleling Lake Michigan. So Friday evening and Friday night, snow flurries, snow showers, maybe Chicago, Gary, Indiana, Kankakee, Illinois, and places like that. Watch out for a little lake effect snow band setting up south of Lake Michigan. Chris, back to you.
Dr. Postel, thank you very much. Let's look live right now. We have San Francisco on the left, not too bad of a day, sun shining in Los Angeles as well. And we're talking about the potential for some Halloween rain for a big part of California. This is on the rare side. San Francisco, since 1849, you've had rain 22 times. In Los Angeles, including a trace since 1877, that rain has come down 16 times. Last time you had rain on Halloween in Los Angeles was in 2003, more than 10 years ago. But it's the snow that could make a big difference in when it comes to the drought in California, a historic drought. But you're going to see for most people that rain in the west. And we're going to look right now at how things are playing out, what's setting up. You can see this moisture right now streaming into Washington, Oregon, and starting to slowly peek into the extreme northwest corner of California. And this is going to swing through and bring some rain. This is how it plays out for the rest of the week into the weekend. You're going to have that chance for some rain. And more importantly here for the historic drought, it's this. It is that mountain snow, because that is like putting money in the bank. You're going to have some rain, but that'll be spent right away. It's the snow that falls in the mountains that eventually becomes groundwater. That's how you tap into the wells. That's what we use for irrigation. And that's what we're going to see tomorrow night and into Saturday. More mountain snow, more of this onshore flow by once that front gets through. So you'll keep that snow going in the mountains. A look at just how bad this drought is. The entire state in drought, but almost 60% of the state in the worst kind of drought. The most intense drought you could have in California. Across the country is happening in California. And looking at the rainfall, 1 to 2 inches will be common in Washington and Oregon, and throughout parts of the San Joaquin Valley. Could see up to a couple of inches of rain, but it's this. It's that snow, white gold here in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. And we're looking at some cases, could be a foot of snow. Kelly?
All right, let's hope we get it, Chris. I know that we really need it there. And of course, we have a big holiday tomorrow. It's Halloween. It's time to finalize those Halloween costumes and see exactly what you might need to adjust as far as the weather's concerned, because it will be cold in many areas of the country. That cold front made some serious progress all the way down through the south. And here you see it, the forecast calling for a few rain showers across western New York and western Pennsylvania as well. Temperatures in Pittsburgh right around 50 degrees. New York City, Boston will be in the low to mid 50s during the afternoon, but once the sun goes down, those temperatures go down as well. We will see a few showers here across the Ohio Valley. Cincinnati, Louisville, adjust those costumes. You may get a little wet out there and even snowy across the northern portions of Michigan. Windy in Chicago, just 41 there. Otherwise, this is a treat of a forecast all across the south. We're talking mid 60s in Atlanta, 80 degrees in Orlando. And speaking of Orlando, we've got your Halloween Horror Nights forecast. Looks good all the way through tomorrow into the evening. Well, tomorrow is the big day. Tune into the Today Show.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning. Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Next Thursday, a Weather Channel first, the Winter Weather Prep Rally, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Best advice, try not to travel.
In the morning,
You've got our winter weather outlook.
and at night,
This is an incredibly deadly time of year. Yeah, it's brutal.
watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally next Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Of weather. You shouldn't watch alone.
What was that?
Our Halloween marathon, Wicked in the Weather, continues tonight at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander. For a cleaner, healthier home. Certified. It's our new standard of clean. Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Stanley Steamer goes beyond carpet cleaning. Call 1-800-STEAMER.
Started my Camry. Picked up someone I hadn't seen in far too long. Went somewhere we'd both never been. Did something we'd both never done. And was reminded that the most important things in life aren't things, they're people.
The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Dear Murphy, thanks for being a warm pillow, a snuggler, and showing me that slobber just adds character.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. For 3 days only at PetSmart, save 30% on thousands of items. PetSmart.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
After taking months to travel 13 miles, it all comes down to this. The lava flow from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano on the brink of changing a way of life for people in the town of Pahoa, Hawaii. The lava is less than 100 feet away from the nearest home, with 40 to 50 homes in the projected impact path. Nearly 85 Hawaii National Guardsmen are on their way to Pahoa to provide safety and security assistance. And one way to show exactly what the people of Pahoa are dealing with is through the air.
NBC's Hallie Jackson shows us the source of the flow, its path of destruction, and where it's heading next.
We are at the tip of the sphere. This is the leading edge of the Pahoa lava flow. Here in town, about 40 to 50 homes are within potentially the direct path of this lava.
It's gonna be a little smoky in here.
This home looks to be one of the lucky ones. The flow passed within just a few hundred yards of the house here. It doesn't look like this lava is moving at all, but it is. It's going anywhere from 5 yards an hour to 20 yards an hour. This is so slow moving that the lava on top is hardening and blackening. There's still red hot lava underneath.
We're crossing Napa Road.
Right now, it feels like we're in a furnace. We're close to the lava, and you can see some of the breakouts. And I'll tell you, you can feel it. You can barely breathe. It's smoky and it's thick. This is what is feeding that lava flow that's heading right over the town of Pahoa. It's basically a bathtub full of lava. It's crusted over on top, and it acts as insulation, keeping that lava underneath incredibly hot.
You're looking actually into a lava tube.
That crust is like ice on a lake. Underneath are these tubes. That's what's funneling the lava right towards civilization. It's been about 17 weeks, and this thing has traveled 12 miles. It shows no sign of stopping just yet. It's nature at its most powerful, breathtakingly beautiful, dangerous, and devastating.
And there are no mandatory evacuations to Pahoa yet, but several homeowners have already packed up and left. 80 members of the National Guard will be patrolling the area to make sure people keep their distance. Kelly?
All right, we'll continue to follow that story here and on weather.com as well. Right now, it's time to plan your first weekend of November. That's right. After Halloween tomorrow, we begin the new month, and we do have some colder air right on cue. It's going to feel like wintertime and even look like wintertime in some of these areas where you're going to pick up some serious snowfall. In northern Michigan, you got the rain to the south, and it's going to be a chilly, uncomfortable rain from Cleveland to Toledo to Louisville and Cincinnati. Factor that into your trick-or-treating plans, unfortunately, but otherwise it looks dry from Dallas to Atlanta. Dry for the big cities along the coast as well. A little cool for Boston with your high 52, so you know by trick-or-treating time it's going to be much cooler than that. And there's your wet weather along the coast, including parts of California, where we're going to benefit from some of that rainfall. In fact, we're going to see some snow across the Sierra Nevada mountains, so that's really some good news here. The pink indicating that wintry mix as you head for the higher elevations for the interior west, even Salt Lake City looking at some wet weather as we head towards Saturday. You can see a little bit of wintry precipitation going on here across the southern Appalachians. We're talking about the Smokies, eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, where winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories are in effect here. Otherwise, we're looking pretty dry aside from a few snow showers in the northeast. We got football going on Sunday. Cleveland's at home. Pittsburgh's at home Sunday night. It's going to be chilly for that game as well. And we're dry down south all the way towards Miami. You're actually going to feel that chill in the air. And then we're going to be following our next system moving across the middle of the country for Monday. Chris?
And Kelly, we are watching something in the eastern Pacific now called Vance. Next, the chances that this could impact land. Also, we're going to let you know where it's going coming up in the Tropical Update.
Apples are good, as Strongbow hard cider better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Our little leaf that helps guide you through the past. Simply type in a name and you're taken on a journey. A journey that crosses generations and continents. All to tell the most amazing story. Yours. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
Look out. Now there's even more of the amazing cinnamon taste you love on Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Crave those crazy squares even more.
Show it off, America. Show off that belt you replaced. Show off the fuel pump, the oil change, the upgrade. You did it. There are a lot of places you can go to do it yourself, but there's only one place that can help you do it right. AutoZone. Because even the pros know parts are just part of what we do. We have the advice, the instructions, we even loan tools. So show it off, America. You did it right. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
They call it a minivan, but there's nothing mini about it. Say goodbye to the two-seater and hello to parenthood.
Allstate can help you save an average of $3,000 on a new car. Let an Allstate agent surprise you by helping you get a deal on the car you might not want, but really need. Plus, call now and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safe.
Just a few more ways the good hands are doing more than ever before.
Call 866-538-7521 now.
There is a powerful force in nature at work.
2 nights of weather.
What was that?
You shouldn't watch alone.
It's not somewhere you want to be when the sun goes down.
Wicked in the Weather, a 3-night marathon.
When you get a Honda Accord or Accord Hybrid, you get more. You get award-winning rides to new adventures. A button to help you get to all the places you want to go, using a little less gas. And with the Accord Hybrid, you'll go even farther, more efficiently. So start something special today with great deals on the Honda Accord or Accord Hybrid. Now at your local Honda dealer.
What could be better than a 5-star luxury resort? A 5-star luxury resort that includes the finest of everything.
I've had the time of my life, and I do it all again with you. I've had the time of my life.
Sandals, more quality inclusions than any other resorts on the planet. Save up to 65%. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Now,
at 1-866-680-4971.
Next Thursday, a day dedicated to prepping and surviving winter's worst.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Watch the Winter Weather Prep Rally next Thursday morning and night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies, low 67. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and some clouds. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High 84. Friday night, clear skies, low 59. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I think it's incredible that it floated over this far.
Small pieces of debris are appearing on Chickatinga Island in Virginia, several miles from where that unmanned rocket blew up Tuesday night. Search teams just started the process of recovering the rocket debris. We still don't know what caused the explosion. One area investigators will look at the engines built by the Soviets during the 70s, then refurbished. When they blew up, it broke windows at a sandwich shop on the island.
The sound waves and shock waves came in and just blew the window out. Tragic part was the rocket not being successful. The glass is something that, can be replaced.
NASA says it'll take 4 or 5 days to recover the debris, another 6 months to determine the cause of the explosion. Kelly?
And of course, it is still hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin. It goes all the way through the end of November, so we should never let our guard down quite yet, especially since climatologically speaking, you can get storms that can develop pretty close to home. Typically, we watch the old fronts that move off the East Coast. We watch the Gulf of Mexico and the Western Caribbean as well. And as a matter of fact, there was something that we were keeping an eye on, and the National Hurricane Center was investigating this area of disturbed weather. But right now, it's really not given any chance of development at all. So that's why it's not circled here on the map, although we have seen some impacts from that, some showers and thunderstorms across the Virgin Islands. Now we head to the Eastern Pacific, and this just in. This is a brand new tropical storm. This is Vance, our 20th named storm here in the East Pacific season. We've got winds of 40 miles per hour, the center circulation about 415 miles to the south of Acapulco, Mexico. So it's well enough away from the coastline, and for now, it is moving toward the west at just 5 miles per hour. So it's moving very slowly, and right now it is moving generally away from the west coast of Mexico. And you can see from the water vapor imagery, it's got some dry air out ahead of it that it will be encountering. And yeah, tropical systems do not like dry air. So for now, it's kind of holding its own and just kind of sitting over the warmer waters here in the Pacific. But in time, we do think that it's going to continue that westward trek, perhaps even get through some of that dry air enough to intensify this, perhaps to a hurricane over the weekend. So we'll have Hurricane Vance by Sunday afternoon, it looks like, and then eventually perhaps taking a turn toward the coast of Mexico. So we'll be watching this one for sure. Chris?
Kelly, 2 years ago on this date, this is what Seaside Heights, New Jersey looked like one day after Superstorm Sandy. The boardwalk destroyed, the iconic image of the roller coaster in the water here. A lot of progress has been made in 2 years, but not everyone is happy. Yesterday, a war of words between Governor Chris Christie and a protester saying the recovery has been just too slow. Brian Thompson from WNBC was there as insults were hurled and is now checking the facts. And for the first time, we're hearing from the heckler.
You want to have the conversation later? I'm happy to have it, buddy. But until that time, sit down and shut up.
Governor Christie lashing out at a protester on Belmar's Main Street just moments after taking a victory lap of sorts, greeting locals who still consider him a superstar. But halfway into his speech, some signs came out asking why the state is so slow in handing out federal money, and it became too much for Christie to pass on.
Very much. I got the picture. I read it. Okay, so
as cops moved in,
I'll be more than happy to have a debate with you anytime you like, guy. guy, because somebody like you who doesn't know a damn thing about what you're talking about except to stand up and show off when the cameras are here. I've been here when the cameras aren't here, buddy, and done the work.
The work, led by volunteers in communities like Union Beach, where John Bon Jovi's soup kitchen was feeding them today, has been done by many. And this protester, Jim Keedy, told the governor he did that for a month in Belmar.
And there's been 23 months since then when all you've been doing is flapping your mouth and not doing anything.
Keedy challenged the governor to a debate over dinner and got 2 answers.
Anytime you like. There's about 1,000 things I'll do tonight. Going to dinner with you is about number 1,001.
Keedy was escorted off and later told me.
They need to get back in their homes. The money is there to do it. His administration is failing the people of New Jersey in that regard. As I said, there's $1.1 billion that was allocated. Only $219 million has gone out. 80% of the money is sitting in Trenton.
The figures come from the Fair Share Housing Center. The point having been made in Union Beach earlier. Homeowners like Andrea Casamadas living in a mobile home, though because of insurance issues, not state aid like some of the delays she says her neighbors have had.
It's horrible. It's hard, it's tight.
Outside, Senator Menendez and HUD Secretary Julian Castro were saying the feds had given the state plenty of flexibility to spend that $1 billion.